All right. Welcome to Spoiler Kings. My name is Tankcramer. I'm with Will, Papa MD.
Yo,
How you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Anniversary today with my wife.
Yeah, man. Congrats. Congrats. How many years?
It's been 5 years married and 9 years dating, or 9 years knowing each other, I guess I should say.
Ah, nice. We got a sub. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the sub. We appreciate
Leanne. I think that was Armando. Appreciate it, dude.
All right.
Yeah, so how many years was it?
So 5 years married.
5 years.
Today's our marriage anniversary. We went to a place down in, what is it, Wrigleyville? No, Wrigleyville. Oh, no, Old Irving Park. Wow, way off. I don't pay attention when I go on car rides. Anyways, we went to this brewery that's turned to like a nice sit-down restaurant. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Awesome, man. Yeah. Congrats, you guys.
Thank you.
Congrats. But cool, man. So this week we're doing Jungle Cruise, which is Disney's new attraction ride movie turned into a movie kind of thing. So have you ever been to Disneyland or World?
So funny enough, I've been to Disney World when I was in second grade for a nice week, or I think we stayed for long enough to remember. And I liked it. I don't know if they had the Jungle Cruise back then, did they? Has this been like a long ride running? But I do remember like a lot of water rides, some log rides. They had Jurassic Park at the time was very popular.
Oh,
so they had the big face, like when you go down a scary ass ride.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was at Universal or something.
Yes, Universal.
I mean, it's hard not to do both when you go. But Jungle Cruise is, when I first went to Disney, Jungle Cruise was probably one of my favorite rides. I wind up recording the entire ride when I went, and it's just funny because they say all these goofy jokes, and it's a fun ride. Nothing major happens. It's just a little cruise. You go down a boat, and somebody is just being goofy and funny, as they go through it. Just a fun ride. I love it. It's goofy. You just sit and chill. So I love it. Dope. But you want to get into everything on this one?
Yeah, let's check out the trailer. Let's kind of read a little synopsis about the movie, kind of refresh our brains a little bit.
I'm out.
Oh,
she's out, bro.
she's getting into that that game.
Michael Myers is chasing somebody, but we're good.
All right. Let's play this bad boy.
All right.
So.
Oh my god.
Oh man, this movie is so a quick little rundown of it. Dr. Lily Houghton, which is played by Emily Blunt, enlists the aid of a wisecracking skipper, Frank Wolf, played by The Rock, to take her down the Amazon in his ramshackled, beat-down boat. Together, they search for the ancient tree that holds the power to heal all kinds of illnesses. A discovery that will change the future of medicine, Lily hopes. Also on the ride is her brother. I couldn't get the name of her brother. But it's her brother. I don't remember.
McGregor.
McGregor. There you go. McGregor, her brother McGregor. So they go down the Amazon. So this is based off the Disney park attraction called the Jungle Cruise. And this movie takes place around 1916. So it's they go a little old school with it. And it kind of tells the legend of the famous conquistador. I'm going to murder his name because I can't roll my R's. Okay. Is Lope de Aguirre?
Aguirre? I would say Aguirre.
There you go. That sounds right.
Aguirre.
Yeah. Like so, and he's a famous conquistador, and he's best known for his final expedition down the Amazon River in search of the mythical golden kingdom of El Dorado. So, but in this movie, he winds up searching for the ancient tree as well. Jungle Cruise has all the corny jokes, just like the ride, plus high action scenes. And let us know what you guys like or disliked about this movie as we discuss it a little bit more. But yeah, man, this movie was pretty good. It was fun. It was something I thought was gonna be kind of about it, but it wound up being pretty good.
I liked it.
Better than expected, I would say.
Okay. How many similarities did you see amongst the movie as well as what you would experience on a Jungle Cruise since you've been on it? And on
the actual movie, so the part where where the Rock is on the boat with the actual tourists and there's like things popping out and stuff like that. That's kind of like, like the hippo is there, and it's like, yeah. Then they say all those corny jokes are all in the ride, and it makes the ride amazing. It just makes it amazing. It's so fun, and it's so good. But it kind of is even. And the best part was The Rock says those stupid jokes the entire movie.
Yes.
And it's not just during the part where he's actually doing a little tour with those people. It's like the entire time. And I just liked it that they gave this ride some background, some lore, like the people now doing the Jungle Cruise say the corny jokes because Frank Wolf, The Rock said all these corny jokes back then, and he was the first one. So I see they can do different things. But there were some controversies in the ride. The big one was Trader Sam. So Trader Sam in the movie was a female. I guess like an Amazon native. In the ride, it's more of a like a person that shrinks heads. I forgot what, like
voodoo,
like a voodoo kind of guy. He had the top hat too, which in the movie she wears the top hat because she takes it from the brother McGregor. Right. So it's like, that's how Trader Sam got the top hat. But they do a lot of he's more of like a voodoo-y kind of thing, and I guess it was kind of offensive, so they wound up taking it down in the past. I want to say 2019. I want to say they took it down, and they just kind of rolled by, and it wasn't that big of a part of the boat ride. It was just kind of like there's Trader Sam standing on the side, but they also have a restaurant in one of the resorts called Trader Sam's, based off that character. So, and Trader Sam's, I love that. That was one of my favorite places to drink. We went to monorail, went there, and every time you ordered a crazy, stupid tiki drink, the lights will dim and people come out, and it was a blast, dude, a blast. I still got some mugs from when we went there. Cool. But that was the big controversy, and I didn't expect them to throw in Trader Sam. They revamped it, made it into a female, and also kind of made it more Amazon native rather than like a voodoo kind of
indigenous person. People. Yeah. That's where we're trying to touch on.
So it seems like it's maybe a little less offensive, especially if people like her. They're like, oh, look, here's the new Trader Sam, and if she's well liked, in the movie, I can see them putting that character back on the ride.
I feel like it worked. I mean, I didn't see too much offense. I didn't feel like she was the butt of the joke of anything, like where she got thrown under the bus. No, she was fine. Yeah. Strong character. Didn't have many lines, but didn't paint her in a bad light either. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I liked her. But yeah, man. So what are some things that like you enjoyed or didn't enjoy?
So I guess the things that stuck out to me the most, I'm a sucker for puns. So hearing The Rock saying all those jokes, they were like dad jokes too, kind of.
Yeah.
Making me laugh hilarious. Do I have an example of those, man? Let's see. I don't have anything ready, but just the jokes overall, they get to me so much, man. Especially when you have the play on words, and then like even
the toucans, like that's a thing.
Killed me.
Yeah,
something about what was that joke? I don't even remember that one, but he just kept going on and on and on. There was no off button with this pun joke marathon that we had.
If you got to ride the ride, man. If you when you go there,
yeah,
right.
I want to now.
Yeah,
I will say like the puns, they didn't get too repetitive, or they didn't get to be too much. So I like that. I like that they didn't like go overboard, but they did give you a healthy portion of puns and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, here's one with the toucans. He goes, there's a couple of toucans. If we had another, we could have a 6-pack. He goes, but only 2 can or something like that.
Yeah. 2 can play that game or whatever.
Yeah, only 2 can play that game.
Oh man, I did like the bird. I kind of liked what's his name, man. I feel like I should have had more of what's his name, man. The bad guy, red hair.
Which one? Because there was kind of 2 bad guys in this one.
Conquistador, and then
and then there's Prince Hakim, whatever they.
Yeah, I couldn't even say it. I was trying to repeat it after he said it, like because he said it right.
Yeah. He said it with like a weird accent.
But Prince Joachim or something like that.
Joachim, yeah.
He was good, man. He was a good bad guy. The accent was on point because that's not his real accent. I think the earliest I've ever seen him was in like was he in Breaking Bad or something like that?
He was in Breaking Bad.
Was he younger?
I think he was much younger.
And he has range and what he can do
acting wise. Yeah. He did a great Black Mirror, I believe, in Black Mirror. Jesse Flemings.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah,
he was great. Emily Blunt was great. I like how they kind of this is based in what, the 1916, something like that.
1916, early 1900s.
So back then they kept mentioning, they kept calling Emily Blunt's character Pants, like hey Pants, blah blah blah. It was a big deal that women would not wear anything other than dresses. And so very sexist, very old school mentality. And so they kept getting mentioned, but it wasn't to the point where like it like degraded her in any way. Like I don't think of it like that. A lot of times when people mention about the olden days, like women should wear dresses and do this and that, people get really bad. But no, they just kept mentioning like, hey, you look weird. I'm not used to it. That's what they kind of put it as a joke. And but she did so well because she wore pants. She was really progressive as a female. She was really doing things that she wasn't supposed to. She was writing articles and writing things that got rejected by publishers. And so she tried
by all the medical field group people.
Yeah. She was the whole purpose of the movie was like she was trying to find something, the magical pedal for science, so she could like cure illnesses and do all this other stuff. She didn't want to let the pharmaceuticals win, I guess. She kind of knew early on what was going on.
Big Pharma's bad.
Yeah, she knows what's up, man. But I like that. What I didn't like was near the end. Spoiler alert. They get to the end where they get to the tree, right? The magical tree that's like underwater, and there's only one pedal that was grabbed, right?
Yeah.
And Emily Blunt gets gifted the pedal from The Rock or Dwayne Johnson, and so he gets turned to stone because of the curse that's within. I'll kind of let you explain that if you want to explain that. The curse that he's cursed with. He turns to stone, and then she gives him the pedal. What was the whole point of the whole cruise? If you were going to give away the pedal, what? Because of love? No, you could have saved millions of lives.
Yeah,
millions. You could have been.
But I think that's what they did. It was he was taking it for like a selfish reason. Like why The Rock wanted to take it was more. I wouldn't say like selfish, like he was gonna like go rule the world. What the Prince Joachim was gonna do. He was gonna he was gonna use the pedal and do bad things with it. Where Frank was gonna just kind of cure himself, and so he can get rid of the curse. Yeah. So it's still kind of selfish. And then she was like, I want to save the world.
Right.
So, and I think like I didn't mind that as much. It was also kind of like, but it's also like he gave it to her because he had it, and then he gave it to her, and she's like, "Here, you can go save the world, and just let me, be cursed." And the whole like, "Oh, I love him," thing came into play, which very cliche. It's a Disney movie. We can't forget.
Right. Of
But
course.
I didn't mind that as much. But it didn't seem like it's the whole thing like what they say it's the journey, not the destination or whatever. So it was like during this journey she kind of figured out, like something like that. Even like the thing he said, he was like, if I can find one person that's world enough for me or something along those lines, he's like, and that kind of like played it back that like, oh, the world doesn't necessarily need the world. It could be just the person you love or the people you love kind of thing. Like that's your world. So I don't know. It was very cutesy when it came to stuff like that. Which I didn't mind for that one. What about some other things? Did anything else bug you?
What
anything
else
you like?
bugged me? Oh, I like the tiger, by the way. Was that a cheetah or a leopard? I'm so bad with species.
Probably a leopard.
Leopard. Let's call it a leopard. The leopard was great. The leopard didn't speak or anything, but it was a very loyal kind of sidekick to Dwayne Johnson's character, and very, very, like cat-like. And who doesn't love cats? Come on, cats are awesome. But that's just me, right? But the very nice character, like I didn't expect to like fall in love with the cat, and even the cat got so sad when Dwayne Johnson was all stoned up. Not like that, but when he was, turned to stone, the cat was all sad, and you kind of got like empathetic and like, man, the cat's not gonna have anyone to protect anymore. That was their his ride or die companion because he hasn't found a person yet, like how you were talking about. Everyone needs like a sidekick. When you're in a journey like that, Castaway had Wilson. This one you got the leopard. I like the leopard a lot. I did wish I were to see more of Prince Joaquin, but that's about it. Movie was pretty good. What about you, man? What was something that kind of stood out to you, really?
Honestly, well, here's one more joke for you.
Yes.
He goes, "I love my job as a skipper. In fact, my parents are so proud of my brother." It's like he didn't say that in the movie, but that's when they say. Here's another one. He goes, "Their wingspan can grow to 12 inches. That's a whopping 1 foot." So, and it's like the entire ride is like that for like,
yes,
I want to say about 10 minutes, and it's amazing. The whole backside of water. I'm like, he has to do it because like Disney just loves it, and then sure enough, he does it. Where he does it kind of really even more cheesy. In the ride, you actually go behind a waterfall that they made. Yes. And they're like, "Oh, it's eighth wonder of the world," type of thing. So,
one of the jokes that was kind of funny to me was when Emily Blunt, she's looking for somebody to take her on the Jungle Cruise, right? And so she goes looking for another person, another captain, because he has all these boats, but ends up running into Dwayne Johnson, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll get you over there." What do you say? Like 10,000 alive, 15,000 dead. Like, why would you pay more to bring me back?
Yeah, it was something weird like that. Yeah, it was their chemistry. Emily Blunt and The Rock, where it was so good, very very unexpected. I don't know if it's because Emily Blunt is a great actress and The Rock is very charismatic that like anybody can kind of play off of him. And something like that, but them two together, I really like them together. I thought they were so much fun to watch. It wasn't like a weird kind of like thing, like love story where you're like, that's that's weird, but it was just them together, like bouncing off each other, with the very quick wit kind of stuff, because she's tough and he's obviously tough and stuff like that. And it was really good, like the punch in the face. I saw it in the trailer. They do it a few times, which is really good. They do it with her brother McGregor, and that was kind of like they didn't show that in the trailer, and I liked that because they show her punching The Rock, and he like doesn't budge. She like pops him, and he's like, "Oh no, good form." It was like, "Oh, that's awesome," But then the brother does it, and he's like, the same thing, doesn't budge, and he's like, "Oh, good form." He goes, "The whole family, good form." It was like something so silly that I thought was really funny.
It was.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I really, really, really enjoyed it. It was
one of the jokes. Another joke. I got you.
Go for it.
Something I forgot what he was talking about. He's like, yeah, I had a girlfriend. She was cross-eyed, so we never saw eye to eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zing.
She was always side eyeing.
She was always seeing someone on the side.
On the side. Yep.
So funny, man. Killer. His
It's
delivery is great, by the way. I don't think of The Rock as, or I always call him The Rock, but I don't think of The Rock as a comedian, but he got range. Homie got range.
Oh,
he either learned something from Kevin Hart, or he's just like you said, charismatic.
That was one thing. Me and my girlfriend were talking about. We're like, that's the world he comes from from WWE. You know, it was like things weren't really I mean, obviously the whole thing was planned and who's going to win and lose and stuff like that. But the talking wasn't really like planned out. It was very ad lib, very I can't think of the stupid word. Improvised. Yeah. You know, and somebody like The Rock was able just to like boom, 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 like and nonstop. So it was like that's the world he lived in and grew up in. And flourished in, and that's what he became The Rock, you know, in WWE. So all those one-liners, those quick things, you know, and then you had people like Stone Cold to like go off of, which Stone Cold again, same thing, very quick-witted. He's just not as charismatic as The Rock, which I don't think why he didn't become a good actor. He just wasn't a good actor. Where The Rock is like everything, he's got everything going for him, you know. And but yeah, it was like he was able to do that, and those corny jokes. With somebody coming from like somebody like The Rock who knows how to deliver something like a joke, whether it be an insult or a joke or something like that, who's like, all right, these are corny jokes, so I have to deliver them certain ways, and it was so good. It was so good. I love The Rock. There's hardly any movie that he's in where I'm like that sucked. You know, like I mean, he's been in like super kiddie movies, Tooth Fairy and stuff like that. But those are still like good movies for being like a kiddie movie, you know. Yeah. But he's been in very serious things too. You know, Pain and Gain, one of my favorite movies. You know, yeah. You know, so I mean, talk about somebody who has range and you know. So he with improv, The Rock is the best. I don't think there's many people that can just like off the you know chain just can. Boom, zinger. You know, the whole Fast and Furious thing, you know, with him and Tyrese, and that made Ludacris do the spit take. Yeah. Where he's like, oh, hide your baby oil, and then The Rock, just without even like hesitating, he's like, hide that big ass forehead. And then Ludacris like spit takes, and then they wind up keeping that in the movie. It was like, that was awesome. That's awesome, you know? That's super awesome, you know, and I feel like something like only The Rock can do that. So yeah, their chemistry was really good. There were things like I wish Jesse Plemons, Prince Joaquin, even Jack Whitehall, the brother McGregor, I wish they used them a little bit more. McGregor, I think they could have used them more. And Jesse Plemons, they could have used a lot more. Like you said, Prince Joaquin, they could have used him a lot more. And I felt, and then they made him German, I think. Yeah, right. Weird. Yeah. They don't really explain. Because he was in London when the movie first started. It started in London. Yep. You know, with this, like some art museum kind of, like a museum kind of stuff.
Yeah, they were getting some arrow that was needed for the quest.
Yeah, the arrowhead. That's right.
The arrowhead. Yeah. And it was started in London. Emily Blunt's character is from London, as well as her brother. The Rock. He had a super modern English accent. I mean, maybe that's one thing that bothered me. His modern ass accent. It sounded so off from all the other characters bringing this extraness with their accents, and The Rock's over here just America.
Yeah.
But it didn't bother me. It was just something that like just kind of threw me off. But it wasn't a loss for the film. I don't think anything in this film was really like hate worthy. I didn't hate anything on the film really.
Yeah, I didn't. But that was what you said with their accents. It was definitely like for sure. You know, like all the conquistadors when they come back to life from their curse, they're all speaking Spanish. You know, like no English, which is cool. You know, even Jesse Plemons. I don't know if he's actually talking in German or if he's just kind of like, but that was German. Yeah. And then The Rock, I guess, with his whole curse is he winds up being like what. 400 years old.
400 years old.
Like yeah. 400 years old. And it was like, I'm like, okay, cool. I guess you can lose certain things, you know, in that time. But it was like, but you also lived in the Amazon. your entire life. How did you get an American accent? Like, dude, what? Like all of Peru, or not, most of Peru and Brazil was like taken over by the Spanish. Like, you would not have lost that Spanish accent, like,
not at all.
for sure. You know, so, but yeah, that was one thing that bothered my girlfriend when they pulled out the map and they showed the map, and it was the Tears of the Skull or Tears of the Stone, but it was in Spanish.
Yeah,
I forgot what it was, and they said it with a crazy American accent, like hardcore, like, you know, like me trying to pronounce the conquistador's name is like, yeah, I'm not gonna say with it, you know. But Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson, they must have said that name of that place like 4 times in that one scene when she's first trying to hire him.
Right.
And the whole time my girlfriend's like, it's pronounced blah blah blah, and she says, you know, with the accent.
Yeah.
You know, which it kind of got me getting. I'm like, did they say it like that because they just can't say it with the accent, or were they told to not say it with the accent?
That's interesting.
You know? Yeah, because I started following on TikTok. I follow the which is funny, the woman who does the voiceovers or the voice things for TJ Maxx.
Oh.
And she's a Hispanic woman.
Okay, I think I might have seen her. Yeah,
and she's super cool. Like, her voice, like, very, you know, as soon as she was talking, I'm like, oh, I heard that a million times. But she said there's one TikTok where she was like, oh, she had to say it in Spanish, so she said it in Spanish, and the people were like, I don't like how that sounds, and she said it again and again and again, and finally, like, she said it like very like Americanized, like with no accents, and they all loved it. Because I guess it's less threatening, you know, as an American to hear somebody who's not like Spanish or Hispanic or whatever to say certain words,
right? You
know, because I'm like, I feel like The Rock could pronounce it correctly. Emily Blunt, I don't know. You know, English people are pretty crappy with Spanish accents.
I mean, look at him. He has that tequila, you know, thing that he's selling. That's all the stuff is kind of manufactured or kind of like produced in Mexico. He keeps showing little videos of himself. So he's got to have a little, like, you know, a little rub off of Spanish of how to say certain words. Like, I'm sure if you spend enough time, if you spend like at least a week in any Hispanic or Spanish speaking country, you'll pick up a little bit of the accent.
That's why I was kind of wondering. I'm like, you know, ever since I saw that TikTok and she was saying that, and I was like, I wonder if Disney is like, how about you drop the accent, Rock? You know, I was like, because I feel like out of those two, he would definitely be able to say it. You know, like Paul Giamatti, I don't know if he can say it. He tried talking with like a weird like accent, and it came off really bad. But that was another thing I was kind of like about. He was very goofy. That Paul Giamatti, I did not expect Paul Giamatti in this movie.
I didn't expect him either. He wasn't a big role, but I don't know. I like him. I'm a fan.
I didn't mind him. It just it threw me off. I think you know where you know but I also I guess it's like, you know, fat white guy, you know, is I won't say fat, but bigger fat guy. Or, oh my god, the white guy is in Amazon taking over everything. I was like, that seems about right. But
it did. Oh, but you know what's funny? So like I'm kind of thinking back to the film, and spoiler alert, you know, we always do this, but Paul Giamatti's character is kind of like an intimidating character, right? He's the guy that Dwayne Johnson's character owes money to. Something about how like he had his engine, you know, reworked on thanks to Paul's character, and then Paul's like, "Yeah, where's my money? Where's my money?" Or he had his parrot speaking for him. He's like, "Frank owes me money."
That was funny.
Frank owes me money, and it was just so funny. But now that I'm thinking, The Rock is 400 years old. What the fuck is he scared of homie for? He's gonna outlive him anyways.
Yeah.
As soon as I found out about the age he was, I'm like, then why was he even tripping about like him owing him money? He could have like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Threw me off.
I don't know. I mean, it was really weird. It was like that whole dock that where, you know, The Rock was at and Paul Giamatti kind of owned, you know, because he owned all the boats at the dock, and it seemed like he owned kind of like the dock. Then you find out like The Rock's character, Frank, built it all. Like, he started the town, he built the dock, he did all this, and like, you know, and like, that was okay. You know, but it was just, I'm like, damn, like, how'd you lose it? Like, you built it. You should have been in charge of it. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he did say he was very crazy about finding the arrowhead so he can reverse the curse kind of thing. So maybe he just didn't care about the town. I don't know. I mean, then why build a town?
Right.
I don't know. So there, I mean, obviously there's some little things, nothing major about it. Yeah, it was pretty well done. It's just The Rock is so freaking huge, man. It was me, or did he look a little goofy in the little hat and the little vest?
Oh, he did
with these massive
it was an ironic costume. It was an ironic costume.
Yeah, right.
It definitely came off like that. I mean, he kind of showed off his skills, right? In like the first 30 minutes of the film, he kept showing him like in the bar or whatever pub they were at. He was like doing some fighting scenes and showing off his muscles. I didn't expect that. I haven't seen that from The Rock in a while. Usually, when wrestlers from the WWE go on to the big screen, one of their first movies, they always like try to like show that off in the film. I've seen it with John Cena in The Marine. I've seen it with Kane in his like scary movie films. They always try to show off all their like little special moves, the elbow and all that. He didn't do too much of that in this film, but he did show off like his bigness. You know, you can't show off the muscles without showing off what they can do. You know.
Yeah, he's just a massive guy. I don't think he can never be small. He just keeps getting bigger. But when he first started like doing movies, like when he did a lot of the kiddie movies back then, he did a lot of the eyebrow. He doesn't really do the eyebrow that much, really ever anymore. But yeah, he did do a lot of that. I think when he first started, you know, they're like, oh, we want the Rock from The Ring, and then that slowly kind of, you know, I think it was that that movie he did with John Travolta.
Ooh.
With the money one to get Shorty, I think, or something like that. He was in that movie. He was a kind of a weirdy goofball character, and he lost a lot of weight for that character because he wasn't big. He wasn't this big. He was big. He wasn't this big. So I don't know. But the director was the Sierra Jome Cole Sierra.
Yep.
He's done good movies, you know, like pretty good movies. Where is it?
Young guy too. He looks young.
Yeah.
74.
Yeah, he did Run All Night. I don't know if you've seen that one. The Shallows. He did. He was executive producer of The Shallows.
Orphan, the newer Orphan.
The Orphan. Yes, he did the Orphan.
House of Wax, who's the director as well.
Yeah.
Was Emily Blunt in there too? I could have sworn she was, or some.
In House of Wax, I don't remember.
Some blonde chick was in there. I don't remember who.
Oh, I think it was one of those reality TV chicks. Paris Hilton, I think, was it?
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He did the Enrique Iglesias short video. So yeah, I mean, he kind of does everything. But the next big thing is he's working with The Rock again, and they're doing Black Adam. So,
Can't wait.
I think they kind of like they must kind of like each other. You know, that they're both kind of you don't accidentally get on the same film together like that unless you know it's got to be on purpose. So either the director really liked him or The Rock really liked him because I think they signed The Rock like 4 years ago at this point. Like they said so long ago that he's gonna be Black Adam that
they did.
You know, yeah,
so long ago.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, this director done pretty good stuff. You know, pretty good stuff. So The Orphan was awesome. I just love The Orphan. Super kind of pretty scary movie. Not the worst. But yeah, man. Anything else? Any random thing that you liked or didn't like before we move on?
Man, nah. I think we kind of touched on everything. We've touched on the accent. The accent was kind of a big thing that kind of it wasn't gonna make or break the movie, but it definitely makes you think like, oh damn, imagine if The Rock did have an accent. But no, everything was well done. I like the cast. I like how they included like a gay person.
We didn't even talk about that.
In the 1900s, the early 1900s.
Yeah,
that's very very crazy talk back then. People of the LGBT plus community were not accepted back then. Not even close.
No. And they even say that in the movie. It was like he was supposed to be something, and then he decided not to take a wife. Blah blah blah, and his whole family he just got disowned by everybody, and the only person that stood around and still loved him was his sister, who was Lily, Emily Blunt, and that's why he even said, he goes, I will follow her into a volcano or something. He said something along those lines. Right. But he never said it. No, he never said I'm gay or anything like that.
The one line that told me he was gay was he was like, yeah, she stayed by my side despite who I loved. So why would who you love be a problem if it was a woman back then? There would be no problem unless there was unless he was maybe black, then maybe there would be a problem. But besides that, he was either in an interracial relationship or he was gay. Those were the only two options you could have gone with. What he said when he said, she stayed with me because of who I loved, and they didn't like me because of who I loved. So that makes me think that he was gay. You're right. There wasn't like an exact confirmation, if you will. But
it was very beating around the bush, but I mean,
it was implied.
You definitely knew. Yeah, because he said what you said, and he also said something like, he goes, I wouldn't have her as a wife. He goes, in fact, I wouldn't have any woman as a wife. Mm-hmm. And he's something like that. Like, but that was really interesting that Disney did that.
Right.
But I guess some people are still a little upset because it's never the main character. It's always a side character that winds up being gay or anything like that. Which, I guess it's a start. I don't know. It was cool. I love Jack White's character. McGregor. I thought he was awesome. He kind of became very timid and scared of everything, and a very different person at the end of the film, which was really awesome.
Oh yeah, they all kind of went through their own hero's journey, if you will. If you ever dug into American literature, but he's definitely the one that maybe got the most out of the trip, because he was a more timid person, and at the end he's whooping ass. He's
got the face paint by the warriors.
At the start of the movie, he was all about, can you take my 1,000 bags to your trip, because I need every last one of those things. And then at the end, he's like, whatever, trip's on.
That was cool. Petting the cat and stuff like that, and
right.
That was pretty interesting about that one. But yeah, I mean, those were the big thing was the rebooted Trader Sam, which we already talked about, and McGregor's being gay. It's pretty cool. But yeah, man, you want to get into our official ratings?
Hell yeah!
Go for it, man.
So pretty much the way we do it at Spoiler Kings, we review movies based off of 3 factors: is it a watch now, is it a watch later, or is it a watch never? Watching it now means you got to watch it, or else you're gonna miss out. Watch later means it's an okay film, but it's not priority. And watch never means don't even give it time of day. What you think, man?
So for me, Jungle Cruise was definitely a watch now. It was just a fun movie you can watch with the family. It had a lot of action, nothing too crazy. Kind of very funny at times with the corny jokes. It was just a movie that was very, for me, well done. I came in with very low expectations and left like wanting to watch it again. It was a great movie for me. Watch it now. What about you, man? What did you think about the movie?
Yeah, Jungle Cruise, I think, was a great film all around. I wouldn't say it's like Hall of Fame or nothing. It was fun to watch with the family. It's definitely worth spending the $30 if you want to watch it at home. Kind of had that option because it was on Disney Plus as well. But it's a nice one to watch at the theaters, and I would definitely watch it again because of all the corny jokes. I'm a sucker for puns, so this made it work for sure.
Yeah. So what would you give? Now, later, or never?
Oh, I'm sorry. I would rate it now. I would rate it right now. Watch it right now.
Give it a now.
Great film.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, we both like that. I know I had text Alfredo, one of the other guys over on the Nerd Huddle, and he said he did not care about it at all. He said he did not like it. I don't know where he would put him in the category of later or never, but he said it was just I think he's something along the lines. I don't mean to speak for him. He says it was like a bootleg Jumanji. It was a bootleg Jumanji.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, I can see, especially with The Rock being in it, it is, but I think it was a very different story, all around.
I never caught that movie, but you know what movie did kind of remind me of this one? A little bit of The Mummy from back in the late
Yes.
90s.
Yes.
The Mummy really like hit home with the whole plot of, hey, the female character needs to get to this crazy destination, but she needs someone to take her there. Boom. Back then it was O'Connor, the guy who's kind of same thing. A lot of similarities between both these films, The Mummy and Jungle Cruise. But I wouldn't say like Jungle Cruise stole anything from them. I wouldn't say that, because they did their own thing, their own flavor to
definitely.
like the genre, if you want to call it one. Like hero movies or cruise movies. Yeah, it was
adventure. I think adventure movie.
adventure. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But that's what it kind of reminded me of, and I was okay with it. Usually, when movies remind me of other ones, I usually get disgusted because I'm like, oh, why they copy them with this, But no, I didn't get that at all. Like, did I care about the movie? Did I get invested? A little bit. Some of the sad scenes at the end, like it kind of hit home. Like I wasn't gonna cry or anything or tear up, but it was definitely one to like watch it to the end. Like I watched this movie not in one sitting. I watched it in like two parts kind of. And I was actually mad. I was mad that I had to like stop watching for the first part because I was getting into it. I'm usually not like that with most films. Like some of the even other action ones that we watched in the past, if you want to check out some of our other videos, some of those films I've watched in halves or different parts, and I wouldn't care too much that I had to pause it. While this one, it's kind of more invested. I liked it.
Yeah, definitely. The Mummy, definitely, because as soon as you said The Mummy, instantly hit home. I was like, it was exactly even the time frame was like old, early 1900 kind of thing. So they were wearing those old timey clothes and stuff like that. 100% The Mummy, the good Mummy with Brendan Fraser, not with Tom Cruise. That one sucked.
Right.
Yeah, very good. So before we get into some critics, we'll talk some box office stuff.
Oh, yeah,
so it opened with an estimated total of 90 million global, including 34 million domestic, 27 million international, and about 30 million Disney Plus premiere access. Not bad. Not about 90 million. I think it was a little bit over, like I want to say almost 91-ish. But yeah, that is pretty good for a movie. I think definitely the other drama that Disney's having with Black Widow.
Stay tuned
this
for
kind of
that.
we're definitely gonna talk about that. But this kind of puts Disney back in a good light. They're like, oh, see, like we can still have a decent box office with having Disney Plus kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good for opening weekend. Still COVID, obviously, and all that stuff. 90 mil is kind of the new, I want to say bar. I think if once a movie breaks like 100 mil, that opening weekend, then I think we'll really start seeing a change. But right here, this is right there at that limit. Pretty good. So I'm assuming you watched it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I watched it at home, Disney Plus.
Yeah,
for sure. I hated that I had to spend that little extra, but the movie was okay, so I'm not even mad.
Not too bad. Here, I'm gonna hit you with another Jungle Cruise ride joke. It was, everyone watch out for Ginger. Ginger snaps. That's right. She's one tough cookie. I know. It's a crumbly joke or a crummy joke, but I milk it for all I can.
I fucking love it, man.
Dude.
I fucking love jokes like that.
Yeah,
like dad jokes.
Yeah, the whole thing like of the what the joke is that I get paid for the number of people I take out, not the number of people I bring back. Like, and he even says that, he goes, "It's more money if I bring it back alive." Blah blah blah. That's one of the jokes that they say in the ride. Like as they're pulling up, kind of thing.
That's funny.
So I was like, yeah,
Gotcha. Oh yeah, earlier I was asking, I was like, hey, how many similar? So that's something they actually do in the real ride. They're like, silly shit like that. That's funny.
Oh, dude, that's what makes the ride. What makes the ride is stuff like that.
So I've done something similar to a Jungle Cruise, but it's like not the jungle. I've done like one of those architecture tours on the boat.
Oh yeah,
when you go on the river in Chicago. I did something like that where someone's talking and they kind of say some silly, goofy shit, but nothing near this.
Oh, this is the entire ride.
Oh,
as soon as you step on to as you're walking off, It is nonstop corny dad jokes. It is the best. And some of them like there's the first rule of the jungle, survival of the fittest, as shown by the pride of lions protecting the sleeping zebra. So there's a bunch of lions over the zebra. And then everyone he goes, I'm just kidding, kids, he's dead. You know, it's like you're like, what?
That's great.
You know, yeah, so it's so good, man. It's definitely one of my favorite rides. So let's get into the last part where we talk about Rotten Tomatoes. The tomato meter gave it 62%. That's the critics, and the audience score is a 93%. So pretty decent, almost what 29% points.
Yeah.
So it's not rotten, but it's not certified fresh on there. Right. So go over a couple reviews real quick. At Home in Hollywood.com said the best Disney ride movie since Pirates of the Caribbean. Pure good, clean fun with a surprising supernatural twist and puns. Plenty of puns. So, which it did. It's so good. Thank you. Chicago Made Punk. Was that Oli?
Yeah, it's Oli.
Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you for the support. If you haven't already, please share the stream. We are live right now. We go every Monday. And don't forget to subscribe. Show a little support. Let us say, let us know, excuse me, that you're in the chat. Tell us hi. Don't be shy. You don't have to. Yeah. We appreciate the support.
Yeah, you could be part of the show, man, because we put up the comments up on the screen. So let's see a couple ones. So here's one. NBC News Think didn't like it. She said, ultimately, Jungle Cruise is not good. It's not good enough to make viewers ever forget that this is a film designed to bring Disney fans back to the park. But the only thing is, like, this movie was supposed to come out before COVID.
Oh. So,
I think the first trailer came out, like, at the beginning of 2020. Before COVID really kind of everything got blocked up and everything like that. So it is. But also, that's the whole point. That's what Disney does with everything. Right. Everything they do is like, hey, we have a ride for that. We have a ride for that. Like the Little Mermaid ride, which I'm like, whatever. It was awesome. Like the ride itself was amazing ride. It was like, it made me want to go watch the Little Mermaid again with my girlfriend. It was like, so it was like everything it is. It's like, yes, that's what Disney does. They do things so they can sell you on it. You know what I mean? Like I want to go to Disneyland out in California where they have the new Avengers thing for the sole purpose of I want an Infinity Gauntlet that holds my pop. Dude, that is the greatest thing. It's a big hand, like the whole kind of big hand thing that you put in, and it has the thing where it holds the pop for you, but it's the Infinity Gauntlet.
Love it.
I want it. So, but I'm like, that's what Disney does. You can't be surprised at that. So they all kind of go back. One more, Rolling Stone, the big guy. It's something closer to an amusement park attraction named Generic Blockbuster Cruise, where you slowly glide past a bunch of prefab setups and the whole thing moves forward on a track while the skipper cracks the same corny jokes. And he gave it a 2.5 out of 5. I'm like, ooh. Everything he said was amazing. Like what? Like that's basically what the ride is a bunch of corny, stupid things on the side of the road, and the person in charge, the skipper, the captain, says these corny jokes. What? I want in. Give it to me. So Chicago Made Punk. Give it a little hearts.
Comment on the screen. Hell yeah.
Appreciate it. But cool, man. Anything else?
Nah, I think you should go watch this film. That's it for me, man.
Yeah. So I don't know what is coming out next week. I didn't really get a chance to take a look at what's coming out big next week.
Okay.
So we'll figure that out. But I know things on the list. We're gonna definitely do Free Guy, the new Ryan Reynolds movie. That's gonna come out. We're gonna do that one for sure. Obviously, Suicide Squad. We're doing that one when that's coming out. And then a bunch of other Candyman's coming out pretty soon. That's gonna be a good one. Stuff like that. So, if you make sure you guys stick around so when we go live and we review all these new movies coming out. So yeah, I gotta go through and see what the schedule looks like
It
going
sounds
forward.
like it's gonna be Suicide Squad, right? Did that just come out?
Is it? I think it's coming out soon.
August 6th.
I don't know when. Oh crap! Really?
Yeah, that's what it's showing on. Well, I don't know. I'm looking it up right now, but it's showing Suicide Squad theatrical and HBO Max release August 6th. August 11th, there's the Kissing Booth 3. And then let's see that other weekend. Oh, that's for this weekend, right? Yeah, that's this weekend. Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, Suicide Squad. So we're doing Suicide Squad, man, for
Boom.
sure. So we'll do that one for sure. Yeah, and then like you said, there's a bunch of other ones. All the Disney movies that are coming out, all that good stuff.
Yep.
So if you're watching us live, stick around. We're gonna do some post show and we're gonna film another episode. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and you get to hang out with us every Monday night while we talk all the movie goodie and stuff like that. But you can also make sure you check out everyone over on the Nerd Huddle. Tomorrow we got Panda and Grizzly with Alfredo, Marvin, and Brian, and they talk about Chicago Bears. They're gonna do all your training camp Chicago Bears stuff. I think they're gonna do another mock draft for fantasy football. So go watch them for all that advice. And then Wednesdays we got Dynasty Pylon, Martin and Mark, where they do your Dynasty fantasy football and your IDP fantasy football. I think they're gonna wing it this year, so they're this week. So they're just going to talk about a bunch of news and updates and stuff like that, which much stuff is going on in football if you guys haven't watched that yet. And then Thursday over on the Nerd Huddle channel, Did We Just Become Best Friends, where we talk about trending and all the other stuff. I think we're going to talk about some Olympics and get into some of the other drama online. Sundays, Morning Spike, fantasy football is coming around the corner, so we're getting ready for that. We're going to do a bunch of get ready kind of stuff, mock drafts. We're going to break down the preseason games, training camps, all your news, info, all that stuff for football. And then every week right here on the Spoiler Kings movie review channel, me and Will, we're going to break down all the movies of the weekend or the biggest movie of the weekend and let you know what we think about it. So every link to all the channels are down in the subscription. Give love to all those guys, man. Everyone is awesome. Fun to watch, but thank you guys for watching this week. Any last words, Will?
Nah, peace out. Be safe.
Peace out. Yep. And if you're watching live, stick around. We're going to do some post-show stuff. All right. Later.
Deuces.
All right, cool.
Yo.
Yeah, man, I forgot to fill out the calendar. I've been busy. I start a new job tomorrow.
Oh,
so
nice.
I've been pretty busy.
Congrats to you, man.
It's all right. It's a warehouse job for now. So until I pass this damn nursing test.
Do your thing, man. Knock it out.
I get some money. But yeah, I think I thought Suicide Squad was coming out on the 13th.
13th. I mean, I googled something real quick. Let me confirm that for you. But
no, I think it is. I'm on Fandango.com and it's on there.
I really doubt it got pushed up because most movies just kind of been delayed, if anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see. Don't Breathe Part 2 is Friday 13th. Oh
yeah, free guy is the 13th as well.
Hey, you gonna get a tattoo, man? Friday 13th next week.
Oh shit, that's right.
It's always a thing.
Friday 13th. Is it?
Yeah. But for all of you guys who are still sticking with us, yeah, it's gonna be a separate segment. I can't wait, man. We're talking about what again?
All the Black Widow drama, man.
Ooh, man. It's kind of hard to pick a side with that one. A lot of stuff going on.
Oh, crap, close that out. Yeah, it's man, I don't. Yeah, it's been really, really annoying. I think more than anything because it's like I kind of want to side with one party, but then I also kind of want to side with the other. You know, ultimately, I think Disney already has a bunch of money. They can drop $50 million for Disney is like pennies for them. You know what I mean? It's like you're like, here, shut up. But I think it's more of a fight for the future of movies. I think,
I mean,
but we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what exactly is going on? So we have a lot of viewers that maybe don't know what's going on with Black Widow. Black Widow just had a movie release recently. You can check out one of our past videos on the channel where she had her own origin story film. It was great. It did okay in theaters, but Scarlett Johansson thought that her movie was only going to be broadcast in the theaters. But that wasn't
It was
the case.
supposed to, yeah.
Supposed to.
It was supposed to. That was pre-COVID. Yeah, and then a lot of these actors have like stuff in their contracts that they get bonuses. So if the movie makes X amount of money, then they get X amount of money. As in like, cool, the movie did really well. Here's a little bit more for you, thank you, kind of thing. And since it's a pandemic, no one's hitting the numbers that any movie, because like Jungle Cruise easily would have been like 150 mil like opening weekend. I think easily. Yeah. So and Black Widow, I think Black Widow was on track to hit. They thought they were going to hit $1 billion.
Wow.
Yeah. It's principle. Yeah. That's why I think it is too. Is principle is.
So where is her anger exactly? Did she miss out on money? Is it just a contract thing? Is she missing out on what she would have made in theaters? Because we can't control COVID. We can't control COVID. So it's like if you're mad Black Widow or Scarlett Johansson, then every other Avenger should be pissed about their movies coming out very soon. The Spider-Man film that's coming out in December coming up?
December.
What, should he be pissed if his film goes Disney Plus too? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the next one is Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's going to be Disney Plus. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think.
Where's the anger? And then that's what I'm kind of wondering.
So yeah, part of the whole thing is she's suing to get the $50 million that she was promised. So it was like, hey, I should get more money because it was going to do well in theaters theoretically, but since they put it, they're saying since her Scarlett's people are saying since it got put in Disney Plus where people can watch it at home, that people didn't go to theaters. And Disney can manipulate those numbers because they don't need to make those numbers public. So even though they came out and said Black Widow made like $60 million or whatever number it made, it was a pretty high number that it made on Disney Plus, is part of the reason why is reason why it didn't do well in theaters. Was it did too well at home, and in the contract she's not going to get any money for streaming stuff.
That's where it is. That's where I was wondering the frustration. Yeah. So she missed out on money because it went to Disney Plus.
Yeah. Damn. But even still though, she would never have hit that limit, I think. It needed to hit like, I think it needed to hit like 400,000 or 400 million. 400 million or 500 million before she got her bonus of like 50 million, So, there's that. So she came out and said that was basically like Disney screwed her over because they put it on Disney Plus, and that wasn't in the contract. In the contract didn't say it was going to be exclusive theater release. Disney clapped back with, "Hey, listen, there's this pandemic going on, and we need to make money." So it made it seem like Scarlett Johansson was like inconsiderate about the pandemic kind of thing. So that was their kind of clapback of it, which was pretty damn good. I was like, damn, Disney. And then obviously Scarlett Johansson, her people came back and said basically like, hey, I understand, but also like it's in the contract kind of thing. So, it kind of starts to become like, how's the contract get broken down type of thing. Let me change the background.
And I'm guessing these contracts are not public, right? I wouldn't think they would be public.
No, nice.
So that kind of sucks for us that are just speculating. Like, it's hard to pick a side because if you're going by the contract, yes, Scarlett Johansson is right. She is deserved of her money because she was promised this. But So, like, I guess where I'm lost is because the pandemic happened. Was she not aware of the pandemic? Was
I mean, she's rich. I don't know.
Is she not surprised, like, of what's going on? Because yes, the pandemic happened, so that did push a lot of things, and it's not making her wishes come to true. Of getting all the money that she thinks she deserves. But we can't control that. You can't control the pandemic. You can't control mandating masks and all this stuff that are going to piss off people, so they don't even go to the theater. You can't control these things.
Yeah.
So if it's down to contracts, okay, I guess I side with her because she's deserving of money. But
well, she was promised money, but I don't think that money was never going to come because it was never going to make that much money because of the pandemic. And that's what Disney was kind of saying, was like, you're not going to get this money. You're not going to get this $50 million, even if we exclusively put it in theaters, because it's not going to hit those numbers that are in your contract. So, and also from my understanding in reading into a lot of this was, a lot of these contracts have these clauses in them, clauses or like things where like, this is what we're gonna do. This is how it's gonna happen, unless this crazy, like, I think it's like hand of God, act of God kind of thing happens. Right. Then we would have to and then it gets into more mumbo jumbo. So it's like Disney kind of throwing in there like, hey, act of God, pandemic kind of thing. It was like, yeah, things had to change. But it seemed a lot of shady stuff because, like, Scarlett Johansson people were saying they were trying to contact Disney to renegotiate the contract. And from my understanding, also not only money, but to sign on for more movies.
Oh, okay.
Which would be because she's been in 9, and I guess that was the end of her contract. So they were gonna renegotiate money with this one and have her sign on to some more movies and stuff like that. Her people said that Disney just ghosted her. They're like, just ghosted her like like a freaking 16-year-old boy does to a girlfriend that he doesn't want to date anymore. It's like,
speaking of my ex-girlfriend, hope she's watching, bitch. Nah, I'm kidding. I've been there, man.
But it's just like ghosted her. So they're saying that, but there's so much like speculation of everything is well, another big thing is like, is Scarlett even wanting to do this? Is Hollywood forcing her to do this to put their foot down on streaming? So it's like, kind of how big does this go? Because this, whatever happens here is gonna kind of set the president probably can never pronounce that word, presidents for what's going forward with streaming, because streaming is the future. And I know me and Brian talked a little bit about it on Thursday on They Would Just Become Best Friends podcast. And the thing is, like, things change. Netflix came on, Netflix got big. Even before Netflix, it was Redbox. Redbox was really big. The thing is, like, I forgot who I heard it from, but somebody said it when I was watching somebody on YouTube, and they're like, convenience always wins. Convenience always wins. And nothing's more convenient than watching a newly released movie at home in your underwear Saturday morning. You know what I mean? Yeah, on your phone.
The touch of your hands. It's so quick.
So that's the thing, is like, convenience is always going to win, which is very, very true. So the next couple of years is going to be very interesting. Post-pandemic, streaming's bigger than ever. How do contracts look? How do movies look from this? Our movies going to be spending millions of dollars like they did before, for something that they might not get the return on. And also the companies can hide the numbers. Disney doesn't need to release any numbers about Disney Plus.
See,
it just,
now, does someone need to step in and regulate that and make that a thing public? What if they get to be too big of a monopoly where they're just making so much money, but they hide how they're really doing? Obviously, they're not gonna hide their stock or their, what do you call that? Their books. They're not gonna hide that because that's illegal. But that's pretty manipulative of a company to hide how popular a film is. What if a film does so well? Like, for example, the Shang, what is it called? I don't want to butcher it.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, right? Let's say that comes out and that does amazing, right? But let's say you have a racist person as a chairman, and he's like, no, I don't want anyone that's not of U.S. descent to do well, and he just says, yeah, you know what? Let's just make this movie, a loss. It didn't do well, even if it does. There's no one there to check it, so that's a little evil in my mind.
I mean, but who you gonna put it with the government? The government doesn't care because at the end of the day, they just care. They just want give us the money you owe us. Well, even theoretically, that's what they do.
Right.
So I don't know if they're gonna step in and do something like that.
I hope not. I don't want the government nothing, but like a third party, nobody.
I can see a third party. Like a third party making some kind of algorithm that pulls it out, because you can't fake the numbers with theaters, because somebody can go to a theater and see, oh, this show sold out when you go to buy a ticket, so obviously people are going to know, and people start talking and stuff like that. So, and then theaters release the numbers, and it's hard to get around something that's very public like that.
I agree.
You don't know how many people are buying Disney Plus specifically for a movie. You know what I mean? And then, because then you have to have the service, and you got to pay for the premiere access. Yeah. So it's a double whammy. So, so even if you have Disney Plus, you got to add an extra $30 for the movie. I mean, because it's like you can hide the movie, but it's like, how many people got Disney Plus to see the movie? So are you going to count both of that as it, or just the movie buying thing? It becomes very tricky with it all. And yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing. So one thing real quick is Kevin Feige, who we all know, he's the Lord of the MCU. He's the MCU god.
Yeah.
He's on Scarlett's side.
Oh, okay.
He's on Scarlett's side. He flat out said he doesn't deal with stuff like that, but Disney needs to pay his talent. That's pretty much what he said. He's like, Disney needs to pay my people. I'm like, damn. Okay. So pretty interesting. And it came out, I believe, today. Bob Iger, who's the former CEO of Disney, all of Disney, kind of was saying it should not have got to this level. And he was blaming the new CEO, because he already stepped down, I believe, last year. He stepped down, and this new CEO is like, I didn't know it was going to get this bad. I was like, well, you need to figure out your stuff, dude.
Excuses can only take you so far.
Yeah. So big issue, and I know in the episode we did with the Jungle Cruise review, we talked a little bit like, are other people going to do this? And one thing is, what's her name? Emma Stone, who did Cruella. The rumor is she might do it next. She also might sue Disney to get more money because of that. A lot of people are saying they don't think it's going to happen because she wants to be nice so she can do a sequel. I don't know. And then make the money on a sequel kind of thing. I don't know. That's kind of all like rumors. But one thing is not a rumor was people asked The Rock. They're like, are you going to do it? Because, went to Disney Plus, and he's like, he flat out said no. He's like, Also, his production company, him and his ex-wife own, I forgot the name of it. They were the production company of this movie. So for him, he doesn't really need to sue because he's
made his money, I guess.
He's also playing a different game. He's not only the actor, he's also the production, and it's a little different for somebody like him.
You can't be mad in his position if you got your hands in other honeypots. He's playing long game.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess what you're trying to say is Scarlett Johansson's playing short game. She wants the money right now, which she's already been, like you said, 9 years or 9. What was it, 9 years?
9 movies.
9 movies. She's done. She's kind of already been in it for the long run. I think what it comes down to with all this drama is they need a renegotiation, or they need to talk it out, do something. The whole ghosting thing is immature. It's like small PP energy. You can't be doing shit like that. And big business like this, show business
for sure.
You got to show out and be the face of a company. You can't be hiding. But
damn. I thought that was kind of like not cool from them, but it's also Disney. So I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be curious. I mean, so many different things happened since it got announced last week. with it, so we'll probably keep an eye on it because I know it's kind of big news. I know Oli wound up sending me an article. They're like, oh, blah 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 is suing. I'm like, oh, I'm like not surprised because I know some of the Warner Brother people, like the guys who did Dune, that's coming out in October, I think. A lot of those guys are upset as well for this, so they haven't sued or anything yet, but they voiced their opinion that they're like pretty pissed because they're like the production crew, a lot of the other people, directors and stuff like that, they're not going to get money. They're not going to get their little bonuses too. So because it's going to be on HBO Max.
Damn.
So 2021 is going to be a very weird year for actors and movie companies going forward with streaming, because streaming is not going anywhere, and this year is proving that it's here to stay. I think for sure.
Damn.
For sure, it's the I don't want to say wave of the future, but it kind of is.
How do you combat streaming? I got away. So I had back in college, real quick. Back in college, I had a class where we had this teacher where I don't know what he was doing, and he was kind of going off on a tangent with his like curriculum. But he asked us all a question, and he kind of made us talk about it and write an essay about it. And he was like, "Hey, with the new technology that we have coming to the future, streaming and all this stuff, what's going to be the new way for companies to make money? Right? Movies are getting pirated." Everything's digital now, so it's so easy to just grab it from the internet. What's the new way to combat streaming? And I've only had one idea that was even close, and this is actually before streaming was a thing. This is back at I think when Redbox was still kind of a thing. So he was already like looking past what kind of ahead of his time of his thinking. And I'm like, that's an interesting thing. What if you can't make money off of your craft because it's getting stolen? How do you make the money then? Well, my way would be live action performances, right? You can't do that with a movie because it's a production. But what if you have more drive-in theaters or drive-in, like make the experience more realistic or futuristic? I was kind of mentioning in one of the past podcasts about like 4D, like there's 3D, 4D, adding extra things that could kind of alter your experience. Like there's got to be some way to bring you back to the theater or bring you back to a place to make money. If it is not going to be a theater, which is kind of compact and meant to cram a bunch of people, why don't you spread it out and start like getting acres of land and show it in the car, old school style? You could do something like that. Those are still a thing.
Yeah. Where I'm at, they closed down the Cascade, which was a drive-in. They closed it down in 2019, which is the worst possible thing because 2020 became the drive-in time. Like people were doing pop-up drive-ins in the city of Chicago. So that would have been awesome, for stuff like that, because then you still have an opportunity, like you said, and you make an experience. And then you put like it's usually like a double feature. It's usually 2 movies at most drive-ins, on a very good special night. They might do 3. I did one time it was 3 movies and I watched 3 movies, and they're all like both newer movies out. So it was always pretty fun. I don't know, man. I don't know. It was a big issue because, going back to like Black Widow was the most pirated movie of 2021 so far. So because it's very easy to pirate a movie when you have it on Disney Plus, like it's instant access on your computer, and once it's on your computer, game over. You know what I mean? Right. Where bootlegs, that you would get from, people and stuff like that, record the film on their phone or whatever, those are always going to be a thing. But those are always going to be a thing. But that's never going to replace going to the theater and watching it because it looks like crap. It always looks like crap. Where this is it's like you can watch it 4K. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can watch it like 4K high def at home the same day it's out in a theater. So I mean, maybe doing a live thing would be pretty cool. But yeah, the movie theaters need to figure out what they can do because it's gonna be a big problem. For companies, for AMC, I think that Regal is still around. Those are really the only 2 that I know of. Same. But I mean, AMC bought everyone out. It became the only game in town, and now they're as soon as an issue like this happens, their entire existence is in question. You know, so it's really I don't know. I mean, maybe you go live, you go back to like drive-ins. You know,
I
you
would say
offer something
drive-ins with music, more live performances, spaced out. Live streams. Look at Twitch. Twitch is doing something that hasn't really been done before. It's been done before, but it's a normal thing now to watch someone else play a video game, watch someone else watch a movie. You could have a watch party where you do things at home. Like maybe something where you bring SNL to the big screen or something. Imagine something like that. That I don't know. I'm trying to think where else could you go to make money.
Well, look what Fortnite did with what actor is that? Travis Barker?
Travis Scott?
Travis Scott. Yeah, Travis Barker. I think is a drummer. Travis Scott, where they did that whole concert in Fortnite, and they made it an event. And I'm not a big fan of Fortnite. I didn't really care for it. But I understand why it's big.
Right.
But what that did with that concert, that's insane. That had to have been one of the coolest things. Like if you were there live and experienced that,
right?
That was so cool. I mean, you're not there, you're not in person, but still, like you're able to like log on your TV and be your character, and the whole world's changing, and this guy is like massive, and he's singing all the songs you like. That's something super cool, super cool. So I mean, you could go like something like that, even like you said, find a big Twitch channel, that does like movie reviews, like the Spoiler King movie review, and then have us, live watch the movie, that's because then you don't need to really pay the streamer too much, because you're hoping whatever money they make during the stream is theirs, and then they get a cut of it, and then you do it with a bunch of different streamers. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you definitely need to take advantage of the situation that it's in, and I might get hate for this, but boomers are not known for that. Boomers are stuck in their ways, and unfortunately, boomers run the world right now. So, it's you can't say, hey, this is how it's done now. And they're like, no, that's not what I'm used to. They're like, it needs to be done like this. So it was like, well, the process is going to die when you die. So, it is what it is, and that's it, man. I mean, a lot of people are like, no, theaters need to still be around because they're great. Oh, they're great because they were the only thing around.
Right.
It's not the situation anymore. I don't know, man. We went on a long rant about everything. It's just,
I mean, it all just kind of hit us, and it kind of makes you think, like, damn, like, what is our current state of entertainment, and how is it going to change within the next 5 years? Even 5 years doesn't sound like a lot of time, but in entertainment time, it is a lot of time.
Oh yeah, we get entertainment. People forget you the next day, the next weekend. Like Black Widow, really good opening weekend. Second weekend, people forgot about it.
They did.
So that's part of the issue is staying relevant. Staying relevant. Mm-hmm. So, oh man, I don't know. We'll probably do maybe another episode as if things start to change and stuff like that with this whole situation, because it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think it's definitely gonna be something drawn out for a while. So we'll try to keep you guys updated with what we think and what's going on and all that good stuff.
As soon as we know, you'll know.
Yeah, exactly. But if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel, man. Go down there, hit that sub button. We go live every Monday. We do our review of the blockbuster show of the weekend, and we do a little post show. Sometimes the post show becomes an entire show like this one did. If not, it's just us hanging out, talking about some random stuff, and you get to join in. And that is only live. You can only watch the post show live, all that good stuff. But cool. That is it from us over here. Any last any thoughts or ideas?
No, man. Just screw the man. No. I got nothing, man. Follow us. We bring you content. Very cool content.
We bring you our thoughts. Yeah, man. We're on Twitch as well. Go on twitch.tv/nerdhuddle. We're on our own channel on Spoiler Kings over here. This is our whole thing right here. Every Monday, Spoiler King review channel. Make sure you check that out. And then Nerd Huddle got Panda and Grizzly, Chicago Bears stuff Wednesday over the Dynasty Pylon channel, all your fantasy football Dynasty IDP style. And then over on the Nerd Huddle Thursday, Did We Just Become Best Friends? All your trending stuff. Monday mornings, the Morning Spike on the Nerd Huddle channel. And that's all your fantasy football, NFL news, all those updates and stuff like that. So make sure you give all 3 channels a sub. Check us all out. We all help each other out, so you always see everyone on all the different shows. And yeah, the links should be in the description. Go click it. Go send love to all the Nerd Huddle guys. But yeah, man, that is it from us this week. We will see you guys next week with Suicide Squad. We're gonna do Suicide Squad review, and then give you any updates on this whole Scarlett Johansson suing stuff. But cool, man. That is it for us this week. Later.
Out.